Greetings comrades, Soviet Gaming here. Today we'll be talking about Iceps again, the game I reviewed recently, and I've got addicted to it and I've been playing it for a while, and it's a really good idle game. So what I want to talk today is how you can get to your first few singularities. This is basically a really big reset in the game with my almost free-to-play experience. This is not free-to-play playthrough because I actually bought no ads pack for this game because I really like it, and it's not a pay-to-win option because it doesn't, like, you don't compete with anyone over here. So that's why it's your own convenience. If you want, you can watch ads, but I watched like a lot of those, and honestly, in real life, I wouldn't watch them that much. So yes, this guide will be totally reliant on that. If you don't want to watch ads, you can kinda skip some parts of it. It will still be useful, it will still help you to get the proper build, but other than that, it's a totally free-to-play guide. So guys, at this point, I'm in the Singularity 3, so I have 3 of those unlocked and I'm going for the 4th one. This was the major problem for me to get to the 2nd one, to the 3rd one, and to the 4th one, because it takes a while, and I'll show you how to get it properly. And I'm almost at the next Singularity milestone, and I will need, based on the calculations, about 13 or 14 nanillions, so it's a little bit more and I'll get there. I will tell you this, if you're wondering, each next Singularity costs 10 amount of cubes, like the multiplier of 10. So the first one costs 1 singularity cube, the second one costs 10, the third one costs 100, and the 4th one will cost 1000 of those, and so on. So you get the idea. The amount of singularity cubes is constant without the multipliers, without all the stuff that you can get. It kinda lowers the requirement amount. Now, as for the singularity requirements for the resets, it's kind of complicated. There is a really complex formula, and I don't know that. All I know that the numbers are kind of the same without the multiplier. So I will give you the list of the numbers for each of those 4 singularities, and you can actually use that as a some reference points where you need to go in order to do that. That's really useful because if you know how many data cubes you need to get, you know where you can do the normal resets over here in the reset simulation. So for Singularity 1, you will need, the basic amount you will gather yourself when it's unlocked. You will see that. For Singularity 2, you will need 10 Singularity cubes, which equals to 15.79 Q. I don't know, that's quintillion or something. Data cubes. For Singularity 3, which is 100 Singularity cubes, you will need 26.82 sextillion data cubes. That's capital S. And for Singularity 4, which is 1000 data cubes, you will need 13.79 nanillion, which is capital N. Data cubes. For Singularity 5 though, which is 10,000 Singularity cubes, you will need 7.19 E plus 36 data cubes. So we will go to the numbers without the proper names. That will be like mathematical stuff. And yeah guys, in the video description and the pinned comment there will be a link to the website where I will make the proper sheet where you can see everything yourself, maybe make a few more guides about this game because I love it, and visual, it's easier to comprehend. So now guys, when you know how Singularity works, let's talk about what you can do to achieve it faster or more efficiently. Obviously, if you bought that pack, if you didn't, whatever, you want to use that 2 times cash all the time, and you want to use all those things on the cooldown, and after you get all that, you want to open all the chests. That's the basic stuff, I won't surprise you there. If you are free to play, if you totally don't have that thing and you don't want to watch ads, ignore it. As for the upgrades over here in the token center, you would like to split those more or less evenly. As you can see here, I have that. And you want to ignore delta output for now at least, because in my opinion, delta particles are the most useless ones, because the only way how you can use them is to get this multiplier over here by trinket efficiency, and that's about it. So all other particles are more effective and they affect more areas of gameplay, while those things are not. Now then again, when you just reset your simulation and you just starting out, you want to get all the upgrades. That's all pretty straightforward. I want to talk about Agiterium upgrades. Over here, I would recommend getting all particles output first, the first option, because that will give your income a boost, while the second option, data cube bonus, works only when you do the reset. So first of all, before you do all the upgrades and everything, you can buy those Basically after the few resets you know how many points you can get. So over here I average about 900. So I bought 900 of all particles output when I just started out, and that boosted my startup way faster. And after that, when I got the new research that kinda lowered the price of those Deuterium upgrades, I got the rest of the data cubes. Moreover, when you just starting out, when it's the new Singularity reset, you don't want to get those data cube resets, you don't want to spend resources on this, so you want to forget about this until you are already upgrading everything. When you have upgraded everything, when you got all the upgrades here, here and everywhere, and basically each new upgrade here won't boost your output that much. After that you can think about those and get as many of those as possible in order to increase your data cube gains before the reset. Now, in which order I would advise you to spend resources after you've been AFK for a while and you come back to the game after like 10 hours and you got a bunch of resources. First of all, I would go to the City of Tomorrow and get all those upgrades, because those affect Alpha, Beta, Theta and Delta particles at the same time, so it's really good. That's the first thing I do. I kind of spend everything over here. After that, I go to the Phoenix Institute and split those more or less evenly. If I'm too lazy, I just click maximum on the bottom one, then I go for the one higher, then I go for the one higher. So that's kind of splitting them more or less evenly. You can kind of balance it out if you want to, but it doesn't affect it that much. Then we go to the archive, and over here we spend those outposts after getting the Institute upgrades, trinket efficiency all the time. And if you are not in the late game, in the early game, you can get the Construct Archaeologist boss, because that will boost your beta particles production. If you are late in the game, save those for your buy artifacts option, because it will be more efficient later on before the reset. In the beta laboratory, same stuff. You buy everything you can over here, starting from the bottom and going up. And once again, if you are close to the reset, it's better to spend those on your artifact upgrades over here. For the research, you basically max out everything you can. When you reach that area where you can't buy everything really fast and you gotta wait, I would advise you to turn off automation. So if you are actively playing, you can turn off the automation, save up some resources, get those upgrades over here. And if you see that the next upgrade, like this one for example, plus 43 one, won't be anytime soon, because I have only plus 42, then I will turn back automation on and kinda idle, so the game can upgrade everything itself. So it's a good option for you. There is no exact guide for those research upgrades, but personally I kinda felt that saving up for this sell price 2.6 upgrade was really worth it early on, because it kinda boosted my resource gain. And the next one is 4.6, every level in alpha spawn rate increase total alpha output, so this one is really good as well. 5.6 is good as well, so all of those upgrades kinda buffing your income quite a lot, up to the point of 3.7, where your laboratory equipment is more effective. After this, all those upgrades aren't that crazy. 5.7 is good enough, so it's all particle output is good. Tier 8 upgrades are kinda they are not that good, they don't give you that crazy buff, so you would like to buy them, of course, because other research will be better, and it's a long-term investment, because that will boost the output of the particles that kinda boost your alpha particle output after that. So it's a, you know, 2-tier upgrade after that, but it's still worth it in the long run. Tier 9, it's even worse, but it's still the same particle, so it's good. And I never got to 5.9 yet, and I think it will be available to me only on the next Singularity. Now let's move on to the Gamma Corporation. If you are not here yet, you will get it sooner or later anyway. That's an interesting mechanic which kinda stays between your resets, between your singularities. So you want to upgrade it as much as possible, and I figured out that investing in the conversion multiplier and conversion interval are really good options, and multiplier will be the higher priority, because overall it will give you more G points per second. Overall, like not always, but overall. It's easy to decide here, you can actually calculate, it is G points per conversion with the multiplier, and you get them per time. And obviously here you can see that if I will upgrade my conversion multiplier, I will get a boost of about 40% or so, but if I'll upgrade my conversion interval, I will get a boost of maybe I don't know, 5% or so. So it's way less effective. Same goes for the G points per conversion. But if those are cheap, you can get them because why the hell not? As for the G points shop, over here, I would advise getting all of those, of course. Obviously, early on, you won't be able to get tier 2 guys, and of course tier 3, they're still locked for me. So you would like to invest a lot in tier 1, because that will give you a good boost. But if you are playing the long runs, which is longer than 1 day, you could invest in the tier 2 guys, those guys that give you energy, price cost lowering, and epsilon cost lowering, because that will give your particle production upgrade way cheaper, so you can produce more over the longer periods of time. Now let's move on to the data cube spending. Over here, it's the most important part in my opinion. Obviously, you want to get all the milestones that you can. If you can, it's really worth it even to save up for the milestones like those, that like Phoenix output is increased, which is, it's good, but it's not that crazy good. The next milestone is way better. It will increase my alpha output by 400%, but I won't get it yet. I recommend getting it on the next singularity, at singularity 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, the next one basically. Because if your next singularity costs you 14 of those nonillions, it's better to wait a little bit than, you know, start from the scratch. That's my advice, up to you. Now let's move to the infinity upgrades and infinity multipliers. For infinity multipliers, you would like to get all of those as soon as possible, because those are really good, other than the delta ones. I still don't have those fully upgraded because delta particles are useless, more or less, at least right now. So that's not the best option. Everything else can be upgraded when you can, but don't make it your first priority. So if you have like 1 nonillion after the reset, don't spend it all on those upgrades. Make sure that you spend not more than 30% of your current data cubes on those, let's put it like that. In the infinity cube upgrades, you would like to evenly spread it out, because that's like the most efficient. Once again, delta particles suffer a little bit because they are not that good. In the expansion series, here I would recommend kind of going even as well and putting a little bit higher level on the higher amount, and invest a little bit more in the Edgetarium upgrade, because it's really good. City of Tomorrow as well. So all of those things are really good, other than, I don't know, I don't really like the archive a lot, because don't know, it just produces some random stuff, and Phoenix Institute as well. But City of Tomorrow is a must. Edgetarium is a must. Those should be your priorities, and Beta Laboratory, because it increases your alpha particle output. Now Ultima series, this is really important. You must save up your resources and get those upgrades when you can. Even if it's like everything you get after the reset, get it. It's totally worth it. Moreover, this is like, you can see the level of upgrades right now before I will do the singularity reset. It's totally worth it to save it up for the data cube Ultima level 6, for energy price Ultima level 7, and when you can get tier 1 amplifier, you should get it as soon as possible. So even if it means just saving up and getting only it, do it, because it will buff your tier 1 Ultima quite a lot, and that in turn will buff your overall production. Beta Goo Ultima, though not that crazy good, like the next upgrade will boost it by what, like 30% or so, I'm not sure, but about 30 or 20%, and it will cost me 4 nonillion data cubes, 4N, I don't know, that's probably nonillion, and that's a lot of resources, so I'd rather spend them somewhere in the particle series over here, so all those Ultima bonuses will be better. So basically, from my personal thoughts, you will be around level 43 by the time you will reach the Singularity 4, and yeah, that's the only way, because basically you will need to produce that high amount of energy in order to produce those data cubes. Obviously, you want to do all those tasks when you can. Kind of for the enter password task, I skip it because it takes too much time, but all other things are being done. So if you want to take a look at my task completion rewards, I got to the tier 10 right now. So the next one will be delta output 2 times, which is actually pretty good, but it takes time, and I can make it faster that I'm doing it right now because I'm not playing that actively. Oh yeah, another thing about active playing, if you are not playing it actively like I do, if you're playing it like mostly AFK and offline, investing too much into the Gamma Corporation doesn't worth it, because right now the G point income is only happening online. You can do it offline if it's fixed by the time, if it's updated by the time you watch this video. Invest in it a lot because it's really good. If you are at the stage when it's not happening offline, don't invest in it that much because you will just lose those resources. Although it's a really good option, I tried it. If you leave the phone for the night on producing stuff, you will get a really good boost here. You will get a lot of those points and those will help you a lot. So if you can, get those G points, guys. What else? Let's talk about the crystal upgrades. I will make a separate guide on that, but just so you know, that's what I have right now. In the permanent upgrades, I have the simulation bundle, Vegetarian bundle, all particles. Блять, I can't speak. So out of the crystal shop, purely out of ads, that's what I have. Simulation, Vegetarian, all particles, energy price, and alpha particle bundle. That's all I have right now. I don't play that much, so I don't get a lot of those chests, a lot of those crystals, so I can't really get everything. In the special upgrades, I have some all particles and data cube upgrades and small bulk artifact upgrades. That's not the best way. I know how to do it better. I'll make a separate guide on that a bit later. In the cost upgrades, I invested a little bit everywhere, and I advise you to do the same because it's additional multiplier which will add on top of everything, so it will help you a lot. I would advise getting a little bit over here anyway because it will help you. In the output, I did some upgrades as well, but not that much. Once again, I don't have that many crystals, so I don't really spend it here yet that much. Moreover, I need to revise the crystal spending priorities in order to make it right, so I won't waste them somewhere where I don't want to. So right, as for the singularity priorities, I would advise going for the red line first, so you get the first, the second one. After that you can go for the third one, or you can go for the white one. That's a highly debated options. Some people advise going for the red. I personally felt that the red bonuses aren't worth it, so I didn't went for them. I went straight for the inner focus, and the next one will be singularity dump, because this one people say it's really good. It will give you 25% total energy price for each perk and 10 total all particles for each perk purchased in any path, which is really nice. So it will be what, 40% extra all particles. You can always reset those, but it will cost 500 diamonds, so make your picks here wisely because it costs a lot. And yeah, the final thoughts about the singularity. I think it took me like 3 days on the current state of things. 3 to 4 days to get to the next singularity by saving up resources. I might do a reset and invest everything in the data cube Ultima gains the next level, but the bonus isn't that crazy high, so I don't think it's worth it. You might want to do the milestone upgrade over here for to 8 before that, but honestly it's a bad idea, so it's better to leave it at 1.8 and after that save them up and go for the jump. As you can see here, I'm getting like 3 O per minute of data cubes, and at the start of this run, after like maybe 2 to 4 hours, it was about 1.5 to 2 per minute. So, you know, it kind of grows up over time, but like yesterday it was 3.2, so it doesn't grow that fast anyway. And yeah, you can see the numbers of my gains over here at the top. So that's what I have right now. Let me know in the comments if you have more or less of those at this singularity. And honestly, the main problem for me was that the first singularity was reached so fast. The second was already slower, but it was possible to wait for it, but the third one seemed unreachable before I saved up resources to get those upgrades, those expensive ones. So I saved for maybe a day or a day and a half, got that upgrade, something like this one, like 3-4, where your data cubes gain on reset are increased by 20 per each research, data cube milestone purchased, and you know, those are really good. All particle output one is really good as well. So there are really cool upgrades and research that kind of help you to boost your income and data cubes in turn really high. So sometimes it's better to wait and save up and do that reset, and after that save up a little bit more to get to the next tier. So yeah, that's basically everything I wanted to tell you about the singularities. If you want, I can showcase you my particles, how they look like right now. But yeah, if you have any additional tips, let me know in the comments. Of course, I'd like to hear it from you because I'm still pretty new at the game and the game is ever changing. So I want to know if it's different for you right now or not, and let me know at which singularity you are actually watching this video, so that will be really interesting. And if you want to make me a guide for the next one as well. And yeah guys, I would appreciate a comment from you, and while going to the comment section, please like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Make sure to hit that bell button so you won't miss any new videos, and check the pinned comment and the video description for the links. We have the Discord where we can discuss everything, and there are a lot of other cool links that you might like. That's about it for now guys, thank you for watching, Soviet out, до свидания.